Hello everyone, Ross and Annetta from Retro Dream Beam. I'm about to go into what we were shipping out today on Thursday. Still some strong sales, but our sales overall started to dip down, but we had some crazy days, so it makes sense that you can't always have crazy days. I mean, I wish, but I haven't seen that yet. You know, they have like a few months of just a bunch of insane days. There's always a roller coaster of sales. Still good stuff. I would never complain about this. If this was every day, our lower sales for this past week, we would be looking really good. All right. First up is going to be this Gloomhaven character. This is an unlockable character, so if you're going to happen to play the game soon, go ahead and skip. I'm just rambling right now to pass by some spoiler time. All right, so yeah, this character in Gloomhaven, you're playing this fantasy game where you're mercenaries. You start out with like 4 of the 6 that you get to pick from, or if you play 2 players, you get to pick 6. You'll get, you get to pick 2 of the 6. And then you'll have a bunch of these unlockable characters and different retirement goals. And then the goals might be like, kill 20 elite monsters. And I think that's this character's goal. Then you get to unlock this character. And when you retire a character, you're done playing them, but then you get a new character and then you get bonuses for the new character and new cards and stuff. So this is one of the new characters. This is going to be Doomstalker right here. So this is like the envelope you get with all the cards and the stats in there. And then this little box is his miniature figure that you get. I get a bunch of like Gloomhaven and I'll like list it for parts occasionally when they're incomplete. It's a big game, has like thousands of pieces, so it's easy for it to come incomplete. And then I just sell the parts and do well to $8 plus shipping. Everything's gonna be plus shipping. All right, next up is going to be a Guild Ball miniature. I haven't sold this in a while, but this was like a huge part of why I got into selling nerdy stuff. I had a bunch of Guild Ball stuff like many years ago when I was doing part-time. I listed a bunch. I made like $700 in like a couple days. And I was like, whoa, I guess I forgot people are into the nerdy stuff. So then I focused on picking up like all the tabletop gaming stuff I happen to be into. This is Alchemist / Engineer Guild. So it's a combo of the different guilds. You have to play a guild. And then it's kind of like a death ball soccer game. So it's a sport game with miniatures. You have like a little squad. This character is named Compound right here. So normally they go for a certain guild. This one can go to either or. This game is not around anymore. It was by Steamforged Games. Next up is going to be these hockey toy figures. These are from the 1960s. They're like plastic baseball figures. I'm not sure what like particular play set or toy set they came from. I can tell they were older ones. I got this box of just older toy soldiers of various sorts and just like 60s, 70s, and 80s toys. These end up going for $11.19. So I still had I have a bunch of them listed, and I listed the whole box. It took a little bit to organize, but ended up producing a lot of sales. All right. Next up is going to be these Litco tokens right here. These are just various sorts with different notes on them. These are for like wargaming or board games and stuff, depending on what people want. There's a measuring stick here. Litco was this company that made a bunch of these acrylic accessories for board games and card games and miniature games. That was before board games, card games, and miniature games realized that they could make them themselves. A lot of like board games now, you'll buy like a Kickstarter, you'll buy upgrades. So like they'll have that with their own branded version. You can get their upgrade components at like a convention. So let's say you go buy like a board game where the board game comes with cardboard coins. You can go to the convention or the official website and buy like metal ones or acrylic ones. But before that, Litco used to make the upgraded components itself. That was just kind of what Litco did as a company. These end up going for $11. This is just like a various assortment of them that I had gotten. All right. Next up is going to be Role Player board game. This is a super good board game. This is by Thunderworks Games. I sold the incomplete expansion, I think, recently. This one's also incomplete. Speaking of coins, this is actually just missing cardboard coins, which if you have a bunch of board games, it's easily replaceable. You can use marbles. You can use anything. But all the other packs and stuff are still sealed from this. So it seemed like someone had opened up this game, maybe had used the coins for something else. They never got around to playing this actual game, and then they ended up selling it. But yeah, this game is super cool because it's like a weird game where the game is making a character for a game. So it's kind of like a, what's the word I'm looking? I can't think of the word, but you end up rolling a bunch of dice. Everyone has to draft dice. You have a character, a race. You have like an alignment. So you're making like a role-playing game character, and you're trying to use your dice to match your character as properly as possible to the character that they are. So if they're evil, you want to do evil stuff. If they want like more purple dice because that stands for wisdom, you're going to want that. If you need more strength, you'll be grabbing the red dice. There's also like a market of stuff to buy, and all this is getting points. This is super cool because the characters you make in this game you can actually use for Thunderworks other games. There are other games within this company that you can use the characters you make in this game to play in their games. Really fun game. This was the second game I played from Thunderworks Games. Really like the company. I like their game design. They have this game called Role Player Adventure, which is like a bigger version of this game where you go through a story with characters, which you can use a character from this game. One of my top like 5 board games. This one's also super good. This ended up going for $15. I really like this one. All right, moving along, we have some advanced squad leader boards. This is going, I sold 2 different sets, so like I'm gonna have to see which one it was. This was boards 36 and 34, so there's 2 of these. Advanced Squad Leader is going to be this war game where you play different scenarios. There's a ton of modules and expansions. There's a lot to the game. Even if you play the game every day, you wouldn't be able to get to everything of it. It's been around for a long time. The boards up here in the corner will have different numbers. The later the number, the later in an expansion it was released. So like, 1 through 5 is going to be from like the more common because it's from the base games. But yeah, people pick up these boards because certain scenarios will tell you need 36 with 17, and here's how you display them. They also like fold out, so you can keep them folded in, folded out. You can make your own scenarios. People love the Advanced Squad Leader series. I've never played it, but I know a lot of people pick up our stuff and like it. $10.49 for the 2 boards. All right, moving along, we have Warhammer Underworlds. This is going to be like a Rivals deck. This is going to be like one of the factions right here. I got a bunch of these cards. I don't know what faction. There's a lot of factions in this game. I looked up a video for how someone, teaching the game for an hour when I got a bunch of stuff just so I can kind of like grasp how to organize the big box of cards I had. So I separated them by like the different rival decks. You'll have like some characters that you are represented here. They'll have backsides for when they like get their ultimates, or whenever they do a certain thing, they get stronger. And the game is about conquering certain objectives on the board, and then you get like victory points or power points. So that's kind of like the basic of it. And then you have like a deck building component where you have so many cards you can have for certain types, like for your deck. And you use those cards either to score victory points or to like do different maneuvers on the board. So it's like a Warhammer game in the universe. This ended up going for $18.89. That is going international. All right. Next up is going to be a combo order. This is 4 boxed PC games. They're kind of like a simulator type or military type. I think a lot of them are airplane simulator games. Wings Over Vietnam right here. All of these have like most of their stuff. If it didn't have like a manual, I would have mentioned it in the listing. We have U.S. Navy fighters. This person reached out. They want to combine shipping. We'll obviously do it, but they said that they really like our shop, which is super nice for someone to mention. We appreciate it. USNF 97. That's why I pick up these box PC games. People do like using them and collecting them. Oh yeah, they were all like airplane or fighter jet simulations or something like that. Tornado Operation, Desert Storm. So yeah, 3 of these are like, they're all like technically different size boxes, so they shouldn't be too hard to ship. Sometimes these boxes are like bigger than what they needed to be. It'd be a big box with like a CD in there, and then with like a manual, a small manual. But yeah, 4 of these, they end up spending $48. And they really like that we took the offers that they sent, and then they like that we're going to combine shipping, and they liked our shop. So that was super nice of them. All right. Next up is going to be a little BattleTech miniature. This one needs re-gluing. It must have been broken at some point. It did not get, like I listed it as broken. Sometimes I'm just lazy to do it myself, and I was like, I'll just list it for less money and have someone else fix it. So there's this metal BattleTech figure, and then it's 2 arms. It's a pretty easy fix. Someone had painted it some kind of like green and brown and black right there. So yeah, people like to pick up the BattleTech Fast Max right there. It's just like a game that's been around for a while. The rules are still the same since the game came out. The stuff is usually pretty expensive when I get like the books or like just like the more vintage stuff. But yeah, this time I'm going for $11.54 for like a miniature that needs to be repaired. All right, people love the mech world. All right, moving along, we have boards only. This is 2 of the boards. I'm not going to fold them out. So they're right here for the Civilization board game. There's different kinds. This is Avalon Hills Civilization board game. So yeah, these are going to go international. These end up going for $11.54. Maybe someone just needs a replacement board. They're pretty much like almost brand new. Like when I was listing them for pictures, I obviously folded them out, and then I heard like the brand new creak. Like when you open up a book, you hear it, and that when I open up the boards, I heard it. I'm like, oh wow, this was basically brand new. Someone didn't use it. So people like replacement boards. All right, moving along, we have a lot, or not a lot. It's going to be Kaijudo. It's the water demo deck. This was from Duel Masters turned into Kaijudo. Wizards of the Coast was trying to push it around like I think it was like around 2010, 12 or something, 13, 14, something around there. Really fun game. I played it for like 6 months or so. They ended up canceling it after a couple of years. It was a pretty good one. It was supposed to be an on-ramp to Magic the Gathering, so kids would get like the more cartoony looking characters. They had similar colors of elements that related to Magic. So like water is going to be island. they had like the earth, which is the forest, and then they had like lights for planes. So they basically had the 5 elements, and then the game plays the same. The only difference is the numbers are in the thousands instead of in the single digits. So like your character will be doing like 600 damage instead of 6 type of thing. So yeah, this ended up going for $6.37 for just like one of the decks. That's not sealed, it was opened up, but the demo decks are always the same cards within them. There's no randomization in those. You've seen me sell the sealed ones because those are kind of like more collectible. It's sealed. All right, moving along, we have a DVD. It's just called Nine. Never seen this one, so I don't know anything about this one. I don't even know if it's probably a movie, not a TV series. I think this one's still sealed, and I also have my extra wrap on top of it just to make sure it doesn't get like dirt or dust when it's at our storage unit. I'm always trying to be careful and just wrap up everything with like baggies or anything I have around the house, or anything that, like, sometimes I'll open up my own personal board game. I don't like to keep stuff in baggies because baggies in board games are annoying they're good for storing stuff, but annoying to, like, if you're playing a board game, someone's like, go get 3 coins for me, and you have to find the bag, you open up the bag, put your fingers in, you have to get in it, close it back, and then someone goes like, oh, I need change for a 10 of power tokens, and then it kind of becomes annoying. So I have a bunch of containers for board games so that you get to pop out all the containers and set them up. So I use baggies all over the place that I can find for storing eBay stuff. $8.40. I know that was a little ramble, but sometimes I like to throw in stuff other than just what I'm selling. All right, moving along, we have some more Advanced Squad Leader. This is a combo order to someone else different. They've been popping off, I guess, for me. This is going to be 12 through 15, and I had to make a note of myself that I had to put them in, or 2 different baggies, and this was the other lot. This was numbers 8 through 12. This one I put 1 of 2 because I had to put them into 2 different baggies. So yeah, a bunch of these boards, I think it's like 9 of them total. They ended up spending $58.08. I have a bunch of these listed. I actually have access to buying more, so I'm going to do that next time I'm around that person. They said that they had a bunch. I just didn't have room in the car, and these are heavy. So if you get a bunch of them and put them in your car, I get nervous of wear and tear on the car sometimes. All right, moving along, we have Star Wars Leia. Is this a Choose Your Own Adventure? I think this was just some kind of manga or graphic novel, like a smaller book one for Star Wars. Haven't read this one. It's not a Choose Your Own Adventure book, though we did get some Star Wars Choose Your Own Adventure books. They do have some. This ended up going for $6.14. Someone's going to appreciate it. People always like Star Wars stuff. All right. Moving along, speaking of books, we got Blood of Ambrose. Ambrose here? Ambrose? There you go. Ambrose. My brain is fried. I've been like really just out of it. Haven't been able to get like crazy good sleep anytime recently. Cats keep waking me up for food in the morning. So then I'm up. But yeah, it's good for being productive though, because then when I'm up, I have stuff to do. So then I'm going for $5.25. All right. Moving along, we have Incomplete C3I Magazine number 25. This is going to be some of the tokens. There's like 30-something, 36 C3I magazines. They're these wargaming magazines. They have a bunch of inserts within each magazine, like a lot of them. I found this like website that shows like each magazine and all the inserts. So this is part of one of their games. They'll add like extra stuff for board games. So these are just like little token sheets. This time I'm going for $13.12. So like these are what the tokens look like when you play like Advanced Squad Leader or the other war games. They are not just for Advanced Squad Leader. All right, moving along, we just have a big baggie of incomplete bits and pieces for Arkham Horror, the board game. There's a lot of different board games by Fantasy Flight Games. This is second edition, so there's just cards, monster tokens, the bigger investigator and enemies, I think. I haven't played this game yet. I've played the living card game with Aneta. Haven't played the board game. And then a lot of like the actual tokens that, the health, the insanity tokens, the dollar bills. They have these cute little dollar bills. Like they actually look like cardboard dollar bills that say 1 to 5 and 10. And then all the other like, miscellaneous tokens for the game. It's not the full game, but still people like to pick up pieces. So $10 for that one. All right, moving along. We have this bulletproof screen, Dungeon Master screen for whatever RPG this is. Haven't seen this one before. This one's still sealed. It has a bunch of these like clearance stickers that other shops were trying to sell this for. But yeah, this ended up going for $7. Don't know anything about this one. It just looks like some kind of, there's like ninjas or something in the back with like swords. And then this person obviously has like their pistol. All right, moving along, we have an incomplete Chaos Space Marine. Bits and pieces right here in the sprue. So there's some kind of like demon stuff over here. And then I see some of the jetpacks. And then I see some legs over here. So, and then whatever these spikes are. So people like the kit bash. They'll mix stuff together. They'll make miniatures. They can practice painting on these. Maybe they needed like extra wings and they found extra bodies somewhere else. Stuff like that. There's tons of reasons why someone would pick up bits and pieces. $19.59 for this incomplete thing. Warhammer stuff is going to be pretty expensive. All right, speaking of expensive Warhammer stuff, we got 2 Necrons. I bought a Necron army. I don't know how long ago it was. But yeah, these are going to be, are these destroyers? I've never played, so I had to go off of memory. Destroyers, there you go. I got lucky. I'm starting to learn. They also have the little green goo or the plastic green rods, which is more vintage Necrons. I think current Necrons just have like the plastic that you paint, but they used to have these green rods, and some players like them, some players don't. You've seen me sell just the green rods themselves on like their little sprue, probably like a month or two ago. But yeah, these end up going for $31.49. They were these are painted, but like with like a okay paint job, like maybe my quality or maybe slightly worse. I would probably put more details on it, but I'm not that good. It's like we're close enough, you know. If me and that person were in the competition for an hour, we would probably get the same grade. All right. Next up is going to be this dragon miniature. This is, I don't know if this is a Wizards of the Coast one. So right here, there's a little hole here. It's not his butt. It's supposed to be a stand. A lot of these dragon miniatures have like the plastic stands. You see me sell them separately, so maybe someone has it, or they just wanted a cool dragon miniature. It's like a bronze one with some red as well. So this ended up going for brass dragon D&D Icons of the Realms. Icons of the Realms is just, they would have these box sets that you can buy, and I think they just called them Icon of the Realms, which just like their series at some point. But yeah, this ended up going for $7.87. Is this the last item for the day? It is. We have World of Warcraft trading card game, the Counterspell rare card for mages. So in this game, you have to pick a class. So this goes into a mage deck. The weird thing about listing this Counterspell card is there's a classic card in Magic the Gathering, which has probably over 30 versions, called Counterspell. So I had to put a lot of keywords to make sure that when someone was looking for the World of Warcraft trading card game Counterspell, that they would find this one. I had 3 of these at one point. I saw my notes. This is the last one that I had, so people still like it. It does the same thing. It just says interrupt target ability card, which is almost the same. No. The Magic the Gathering one's better because it will do any spell. So the interrupts our abilities are specific things in the World of Warcraft trading card game. But yeah, $9.09 for this individual card. This was not from the auction that I got recently. I'm pretty sure this was a different time. I'll get World of Warcraft trading card games occasionally throughout all the places I search for that stuff. All right, that's going international. That's everything. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Love you guys.